right, my little playmates, do not flip out. Do not change the station. Do not worry about running to work. It is not Monday. We're having a special Sunday edition of The Playground today because I have a very special guest in the studio in light of the Heineken Regatta because he's going to be playing this evening. So I got Mr. Akon in the house, and I've been getting all of your questions all week long that you want me to ask him. We're going to do our best to answer every question that we possibly can. We're going to play his brand new single that he had out this year. We're going to have a lot of fun. So without further ado, Akon, how you doing?
What's up, little mama?
Nothing much, nothing much. How are you enjoying the island so far?
I'm loving it, man. The scene here, the energy here.
Now, this isn't your first time on The Rock, is it?
This is my second time, actually.
This is your second time. So when was the last time you were here?
I think it was like 2006.
2006, so it's been a decade. So you don't even come here on a DL to like do a little vacation?
I haven't had time. I haven't had time to vacation. I've been trying to vacate for a minute.
That's the price of greatness. You're short on time.
That's the problem.
Well, we're glad to have you here, and also we're really excited that you're going to be playing tonight at Kim Shaw. And as you may already know, r.city played last night.
Yeah, those are my boys right there. They killed it too.
So they say you have a bit of history with them.
Yeah, man. Those are my guys since the beginning of their career.
Yeah? So, like, how did you meet them?
Actually, I met them through my DJ, Benny D.
Okay.
Yeah, Benny D told me about them. You know, they was from the Virgin Islands trying to make it in the States, so I signed them as artists and songwriters. And eventually, I mean, it's just a matter of time. You know how it is. You just got to wait your turn, keep doing great work, and eventually you'll get that time.
Yeah.
And they was such great songwriters that it was like a challenge to write songs for themselves. Mm-hmm. So that's what took so long. But by the time they got the experience to write for other artists, and it got them in a position to where now they can really, you know, analyze who they are as artists and create songs for them. And that, you know, it works. So they got this record with Adam Levine that's doing really well for them.
It's doing amazing. I hear it literally on a daily basis here. It's doing really well.
You know?
So yeah, thank you. So like speaking about guys like r.city that you've signed on, you've gotten some flack in the past for passing on certain artists and whatnot, but people don't give you enough credit for the fact that you've built a lot of dope careers. So
well, you know, I built my career off building other people's careers.
Yeah.
You know, clearly you're gonna miss some. You know, and the ones that I did miss just wasn't ready at that time. Mm-hmm. And in time they get better. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of things. You know, I think you're not gonna catch everything, but you will catch the ones that's meant for you to catch. That's how I look at it.
And then when you feel like, when you hear an artist, what resonates with you? What makes you go, yes, this is the person I know I have to work with? What's the potential that you see?
A lot of times it's tone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The tone is really what I get out of everything. That's what I look for in singers and hard workers. Because I feel like work ethic is everything for me. Because with that work ethic, well, that's the difference between a star and a superstar to me.
Okay. Yeah. And then when there's somebody that you have a lot of potential, you can see there's a lot of potential, but yet you're kind of like, no, what is that element that's missing?
The element that's missing for me, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, lack of just imaging. Because the artist has to be able to understand who they are. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you'd be surprised how many artists don't really know who they are. They just want to do it because they feel like it's a popular thing to do, but they don't have no definition of who they are personally. And to me, if that's not there, then it's not real.
Like they're trying to emulate somebody else and not bring their own brand to you.
1,000%. Like, originality is everything for me.
A lot of people forget it's not the 70s anymore where people kind of discover a raw talent and then they build them. Mm-hmm. You have to come with the full package already.
Well, sometimes artists have to be, you know, like developed. Because sometimes the talent is there, but you just have to give them the tools to take themselves to the next level. You know
Fluff
what I mean?
them up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes they have raw talent, but they don't know what it really takes or what comes with it. So you almost got to feed them those tools so that way they can be able to take that and pull it together into something that can become something. You know what I mean?
I totally understand.
Yeah.
And right now, the way that you see music is going, we have a lot of people that make a ton of hits, but in your opinion, who are the people that are going to have longevity in the industry and who's just a passing phase?
Well, that's really hard to predict because that all depends on the audience. You know, the audience are the ones that really decide who's going to be here forever. You know, you got artists that just, the ones that actually can, you know, change up with the time are the ones that normally stays for a long time. That has the, you know, the ability to, you know, transform into the next generation. Because you have to be very versatile. Otherwise, if you're stuck in your way all the way through, it won't work for you, because the generation that comes is always looking for something that's disruptive. And if you're not the disruptive type of artist that can just kind of, you know, chameleonize yourself through the different audiences that come in, the different times that music is changing and you can't change with it, you won't be in the game for a long time.
Well said. What kind of changes are you seeing now in the industry that weren't there about 10 years ago?
Well, lyrically is a big change because you really don't have to say anything anymore. You just have to have a melody.
Yeah.
You know, 1 or 2 words that and you can repeat that everybody can remember. That's all it takes to make a good record.
Something infectious, but
period. Like,
are you okay with that? Because I feel like
I'm cool with however and what direction music go. Like, I don't make the choice because, like I told you, like you got to look at what we do. We provide a service, right? We provide happiness, celebration in time of sadness, happiness, birthdays, special moments, memories. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So it's like customer service. So if that's what gets the people to the point of that's what they want to hear at the time, or that's the energy that they want to feel, that's what we provide for them.
I actually like the way that you put that because I'm kind of an arty snob. I went to art school. I'm like one of those. Well, the lyrics don't have any meaning anymore, and like, you know, there's not enough intelligence put into the thought of the lyrics. But now that when you say it, that this is a service, this is something that you provide for the public. I like that. I think you're absolutely right.
And for those that feel that way, I think there's millions of artists.
Yeah.
You don't have to conform to what they want you to support. You know, because like some of those acts have major, you know, record labels and that has push with machines and radio stations that push that out to you. You don't necessarily have to feed into that. You got internet that you can discover new artists with lyrics, with melody, for what you want. But the problem is people feel like they only have to listen or support what's been put out there for them.
Yeah.
But there's millions of artists out there that has exactly what you're looking for. You just got to discover. So you have to take the time to discover good music or whatever you consider to be good music for you.
But now that there's so many artists out there and there's so many niche artists, so every individual is now finding specifically that one artist kind of hits that note for them personally. Do you think now pop music is getting more diluted? It's harder to become that commercial success?
Well, I always looked at pop music as popular music. I never looked at it as a genre. Because no matter what genre you're from, the moment it becomes popular, they consider you pop anyway. So I think it depends on who's listening and who becomes the consumer at the end of the day. Like me, I'm one of those kind of people that listen to all kind of music. I listen to everything. Right? So if it sounds good to me, I like it. Regardless if you're a name brand A-list artist or an upcoming brand new artist. If it's great, I'm going to support it because I just like to listen to it. And eventually, if you can come with another one, that's even better because now it gives me a reason to want to go back and figure out what it is you're really into, kind of really discover more about you as an artist. So, you know, one hit don't do it for me, but that one hit I could play for 10 years if I wanted it.
Yes, exactly. By the way, we ring the bell here when we hear things that we like.
Oh, that's what's up.
Just so you know what was going on.
Gotcha.
So I want to talk a little about Hypnotized. You got this new album that's out, this new record that's out. I listened to it earlier, and I found it had like a lot of West Indian influences in it. But then I was thinking, is it really West Indian influences?
Well, I'm African.
I was going to say,
you know,
or other West Indians?
Africans, West Indian, we're the same.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to soca music here, it sounds exactly like what I listen to back home. It's just, you know, they speak either French or the local language on top of it. And here it's broken patois or English. You know what I mean? So it's the same. Like we one people. So everything I do is going to always resonate in the West Indies, I believe.
Exactly. Because when you first came out, I remember when I first heard you, I swore you were from Jamaica. I was like, yeah, this dude from Jamaica, he's great. West Indians represent. And then we find out you're West African. So I was thinking, you know what? Maybe it's us who's getting influenced by West Africa. It's not the other way around.
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, you guys are African. I don't care what you tell me.
Yeah.
You guys just shipped on this island.
Thank you very much for recognizing that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But believe me, when I tell you the cultures is seamless.
Yeah?
Believe me when I tell you. From the food to the music to the people, everything.
I gotta go one of these days.
No, you have to, man.
So I got Hypnotized. Now, is this found on the new Stadium project or no?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is we did a SoundCloud campaign where every 2 weeks we're going to release a single. That, you know, first for 2 reasons. One reason is because I've been going for a minute. So I want to be able to just give my audience just music, just constantly just flood them with mad music. So and then ultimately it also gives you the countdown leading up to the release of the actual album.
Okay, and then that is when?
And that is coming.
People are asking like crazy. People are excited.
Listen, I got tired of asking myself, so I said, you know what? In the meantime, while we're waiting, I'm gonna make sure the audience is getting something. So that's why we said every 2 weeks we're gonna release a single up until the point they give me a release date on this album.
And can we ask, just so people, because you know when people are waiting for something and it's not coming, an excuse is good. Can we ask the reason why?
Well, in my case it was a little different because originally my album was supposed to come out 2010. I was gonna launch it, you know, during the World Cup in South Africa, and just because that was the perfect moment. The Universal record execs getting fired, you know, it's things like that. So it was a big transformation within it. The big exec at Universal moved to the U.S. Now he's taking over U.S. So it was a lot of you could say indoor politics that was happening. A lot of jobs was being changed over. People were getting fired, rehired. So it was just a big tornado for the last 3 years. And I didn't really want to release my album under those circumstances because there was no marketing team at the time. There was no specific label that I didn't even know where I was going to be, because the merge changed me over too, because I went from being with SRC to Motown to directly to Universal. So I didn't even have a home.
Yeah.
So it was nowhere I could, even if I wanted to put the record out, I couldn't, because of, you know, I had to wait till the tornado kind of cleared up. So in the process of that happening, I started going into Africa to deal with my energy company and started focusing on Africa while they focused on that. And naturally, a lot of my time went towards my Akon Lighting Africa project. And then I got to the position where I made enough money to just buy myself out the contract, because it didn't make sense to be in a place where I couldn't release music. And then I was able to successfully do that. Then I went to Warner Music over at Atlantic, and now I'm currently releasing through them. So that's why you're starting to see now music happening now, because I'm with a new label and things is moving perfectly.
And because you had the power to buy yourself out, that's why you had the flexibility to move from...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I asked because I understand that you are in support of Kesha for what she's going through right now.
Well, you know, the way I look at it, it just doesn't make sense for an exec to hold an artist at a place they don't want to be.
Yeah.
Because nobody makes money.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense.
And the fans are demanding her product.
Yeah, it's like, it's so stupid to me. And I think there's a way to where they both could be happy. Kesha can release her music, still go. And if she has a debt to be paid, she can't pay it if she can't release music. Allow her to put records out, and then she could pay you from, you know, revenue, you know, gained from that project up until the point you're fully debted out.
I want to say thank you, because we don't hear a lot of males in the industry speaking out against the situation. It's a lot of women that we have backed in her, but it's really powerful when we have a male's perspective saying, listen, this is not right, this is not working. Mm-hmm. Let's make it smarter. Let's do this right.
No, absolutely.
So Hypnotized, I want to play this for y'all right now. Now, is this, what week are we in our 2 weeks?
This is 6 week.
This is the sixth
This is
week.
the third single that we released off of it.
This is the
so
third
if you missed it, go on to Akon/SoundCloud. You can hear all the songs there, and all the songs that's actually been released so far has been 3. On SoundCloud, you can stream them out, but if you want to flat out own them, they are available on iTunes as well too.
Dope. So here you guys are. This is the Laser 101 debut of Hypnotized, Akon's new single that just got released this year, I think in January.
Nah, this is like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
This is very new.
This is brand spanking new.
This is like you're just catching the third week, literally.
This is the freshest thing on the market right now, y'all. So you're hearing it here first. It is Akon with Hypnotized.
Why you gotta leave me hypnotized?
Just heard Akon's brand new single called Hypnotized. I really do like that track.
That's what's up.
I do like that track. What was the inspiration for that song? Who is she?
Well, I mean, lately I just been trying to write songs that I feel that other people could relate to. Mm-hmm. I think I might have experienced any and everything there is to experience in my little journey in this business. So I know in the beginning I started writing about all my experiences. So there's always going to be loosely based things in there that kind of trigger songs when I'm writing at this point.
I mean, that's the hallmark of true art, is where you take experiences from your life and then use it in your art, and then you share it with the world.
Yeah.
So I really like that track. In fact, on Wednesdays we have this little segment called it's the Jungle Jam. Uh-huh. And every Wednesday we play a nice love song. That is the Jungle Jam for Wednesday for sure.
Nice.
Okay, so I wanna get a little personal with you.
You can go ahead.
So you're a third culture kid.
What's that?
You were raised between the U.S. and Africa. So a third culture kid is any kid who was born in one country, their native country, and raised in their formative years between one or more cultures.
Yeah,
developing a third culture.
That's clearly me.
Yeah. So I read something that said when you went back to New Jersey after spending some time in Senegal, you had problems assimilating and getting along with the kids.
Yeah, it was challenging for me.
Yeah.
You know, because kids don't have no filter.
No, they don't.
And I was like the blackest kid in the school. You know, dark nappy head, and light skin was a style at the time. So you can imagine you can imagine what I went through. I had it hard.
You had it hard.
Yeah,
and then not to mention, because in your experience as a TCK, learn this. TCK is what you are. It's great. It's a whole community, and you're going to find people who are just like you. Like, there's a third culture that gets built, and you have more in common with people that are TCKs, whether they grew up in America and China, than you would with somebody from America and Senegal.
No, that's true.
So when you went back home, did you find like the accent thing was a problem?
No, the accent thing was a big problem for me here.
Yeah.
In the States, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's why I made it my business to be able to speak English without an accent.
Yeah.
Like, I would learn it to say it without the accent. I didn't want to sound like, the typical African that comes to the U.S. and talk like this,
Yeah, exactly. I know how it is.
Hey.
And then how'd you overcome that? Because obviously you have assimilated in America. You have found your home there. So what would you say to any kid that kind of feels displaced in the world, what they should do in that situation?
Well, I mean, now it's not as bad as it was back when I was coming up. So now it's a lot easier. They're more accepting because now foreign is cool.
Yeah.
Now it's about foreign cars, foreign girls, foreign everything. You know what I mean? So foreign is like the word in the streets now, foreign.
So you feel like if you were in high school right now, you could have gone with that accent and gotten mad chicks.
I'd have been the man.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I also heard something interesting about you. You have an exotic pet.
Yeah, I got 2 exotic pets.
So, Akon, if I wanted to buy a tiger, how does one procure one?
Well, they have people that actually specialize in exotic, pets. And
What did you just Google? I want to buy a tiger, and then you found.
Well, you'd be surprised. Now you can Google, and now there's actually people that act. They play like agents that they tell you all the licenses you got to do, all the regulations you got to go through and pass, and if you're gonna fly one in from another country, what it's gonna take and things. But it's really all about the money. If you can pay for it, you can be able to get through it.
You can get through it.
Trust me.
Is there any kind of tiger training, like how to care for a tiger, that you have to do before you get the license?
the first thing you got to be able to feed them because they're the kind of animals, or you could say that if they get hungry, they start looking at you like food.
Really?
No, I'm just joking. No, but you do want to get in the habit of feeding them, and I wouldn't I feed my tigers like red meat once a month.
Just once a month? Would they eat the rest of the time?
Because red meat it generates a lot of energy for them, and that's the thing that kind of triggers their natural wild, instinct. So I feed them chickens. Like each one of them, I have to feed them 12 whole chickens a day.
Frozen chickens, or you throw
like whole chickens?
But dead, or do you throw live chickens into the cage?
Dead.
I don't know. Some people be throwing live rats into their snake cages.
No, they did. Yeah, they got to be fed 12 chickens a day.
12 chickens a day, and that's
At
for
this
2
age.
tigers.
Yeah.
But how long do they live?
Well, mine's are 15 years old. I bought them both at the same time. They was twins.
They were twins. Yeah. And then they, live 50 years, or?
Actually, I'll see. Right now, they're at 15, so we'll see how long.
Yeah. They're looking healthy. They're looking good.
Yeah, they giants. I mean, they can literally do handstands and touch the ceiling.
That is some dope, eccentric celebrity stuff to have 2 tigers in your backyard. I love it. It's amazing. And I also want to know a little bit more about Lighting Africa, because here on St. Maarten, I think we are one of the places in the world that has the highest rate of nonprofit foundations per capita. So philanthropy is huge in our culture. And I've gotten a lot of questions about Lighting Africa. When that situation came out on Facebook, everybody here was sharing about this amazing thing that Akon has done. So I want to know exactly how that started.
Well, actually, Akon Lighting Africa is a for-profit. It's a business. It's a business. It's a real energy company, but Akon Lighting Africa just happens to be the initiative, because I'm more of a marketing type of person. So I like to market it in a way to where it actually makes sense. But I'm more involved into social entrepreneurship. I like to get into business that's going to help people.
Yeah.
So in Africa, it didn't make sense how 80% of the continent didn't have electricity. So I wanted to just figure out how can I get into the energy business. I know in the U.S. it's impossible because it's a big pyramid. You got to be somehow a part of the government to be attached to that, and I wasn't even nowhere near it, right? So in Africa, I had the clear open door to do that. So when I went in, I was trying to connect in a way to where how can I be, what it will take, do I have to build a power plant, whatever the case. So I went the normal route, and I got pushed out by politics and agendas and things of that nature. So I said, okay, this is not a door I want to go into, but let me figure out another way to make it happen. Then I started focusing on the rural areas, like the far out areas where there was no civilization whatsoever, and thought about the best solution. And it hit me one day. I was like, wait a minute, Africa has plenty of sun. We'll never run out. Our biggest resource, period. And if we're going to energize, that's the best way to go through it. So that's why I decided to go solar. It was no politics. They looked at it like, okay, yeah, solar, he can have that. And before you know it, it just became like the perfect solution for the problem. So we started electrifying all the rural villages, started with 1 million homes, and now we're in 14 countries. Wow. And the fastest growing energy company in Africa.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, so when you're talking about people who are in rural areas and they're getting solar panels are not cheap. How are they able to afford?
Oh, actually, believe it or not, they are a lot cheaper than people think they are when you're buying them in scale. And I was able to, because I do a lot of research before I get into things, but one thing I did realize was the Chinese was creating a solar program for the United States back in 2010, I think, somewhere in that little area, or maybe a little bit earlier. And then U.S. raised a 200% tax on it after they had invested billions and billions of dollars on research, factories, and equipment. So they couldn't even utilize none of that. So back in China, you got sitting there billions of dollars worth of solar equipment, factories, resources that they was building for U.S. and Europe that they just raised 200% tax on that they couldn't use. So I took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Went to China, met with these guys, and I was like, listen, Africa needs it. You guys got to get rid of it. Let's work something out. So I got $1 billion credit line through my Chinese resources, and I use that to be able to go into these countries and supply the energy with them.
That's fantastic. Now, I understand that it's a business and whatnot, but more and more places need solar energy as opposed to just relying on.
I mean, especially U.S. and Europe, they have to convert to renewable energy because right now, as you can see, the global, this global climate change is serious. Like right now, it was snowing in Atlanta. It's ridiculous. Like for Atlanta to get snow.
Wow.
That shows that climate change is not planned, it's real. So it's real. Everyone has to convert over to renewable energy if we want to survive this.
So is there plans for the future of coming out of Africa as well to make affordable?
Yeah, actually, it's crazy you said that because we've already launched our Akon Lighting Americas, which is all Latin America.
When it comes time to North America, how do you circumnavigate that tax situation?
Well, in North America, it's going to be a little different because we're going to kind of conform into the system that's already existing and just kind of get the microcredits for the clean air, program aspect of it. But then what we're going to do is start creating solar rooftops for all the homes out there so where they can convert their energy into straight clean energy.
I don't know if you noticed there, but there's so much sun here.
I know.
But I love that idea. I really love that idea, and I love the idea of social entrepreneurship because there are a lot of great foundations out there doing a lot of great work, but they fall flat because at a certain point, people become desperate. And
well, in Africa, charity just doesn't work.
It doesn't work in a lot of places because of the corruption.
Especially Africa, though.
Yeah.
Africa just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And our biggest resource over there outside of the sun is human resources.
Yeah.
You got to put these people to work.
Exactly. It's a brilliant idea. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And so you're starting in Latin America. What countries are you in now?
Right now we're in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro and Bahia.
You're gonna get a bunch of dings for that. Highly impressive.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody was looking up to you and they say, listen, I want to do what Akon does, what's your number one piece of advice for them?
Man, just do what you love and what you believe in at the end of the day, because that's what matters. That's what you're going to put your energy into.
Because a lot of people don't realize, we kind of saw you kind of pop up in the scene, but we don't know what went on before your first album came out.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, before the first album came out, I was working in the Booger basement, writing songs and producing for the Fugees, and people still didn't know that.
Wow.
I left from that to go to Atlanta, and that's when I started working with the boys and built the studio. For practically half of Atlanta's music scene used to use my studios to build their demos. So I was owed a lot of favors because I used to let them use my studios for absolutely free, all of them. So back when I actually needed the support, I was able to get all these features because they all owe me favors anyway. Because I know at one point in the year, you couldn't hear a song without hearing me on it. I cashed in every favor I could.
Tell me a little bit about those struggle days, exactly what the day-to-day was like. Because a lot of people just think it's just, I'll write some songs and then, move around a bit. But there's a lot of struggle in between when you're trying to make it.
Everybody's struggle is really different.
Yeah.
I know mine in particular, it was the fight between the streets and legitimate, because I couldn't get a regular job because of my criminal history. So I had no choice but to do illegal things to make money to support my craft.
It's a vicious cycle.
So yeah, it's like you got to be careful. At the same time, you got to be aggressive, because that's the only way it's going to work. And you just got to pray to God that you stay out of it long enough to make it.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got others who just simply don't have the means, and they just struggling, living in out their cars, just chasing the dream. But you have to have a plan. Without the plan, it's like you hustling, and where does that money go when you do make it? Or if you're going through an area or a situation where you're trying to get to a certain level, you got to at least have a mapped out plan of how you plan to get there. And the biggest mistake a lot of artists make is they just want to be stars, but they don't have no clue of what steps to go or take to get to this, situation or place where they're trying to go.
And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize fame is not an end goal.
No, it's not.
Fame comes when you have a certain product that you believe in and that you're passionate about and that you've built.
Listen, I consider name you about 25 famous people that's dead broke right now.
Oh, can you give me some?
No. But I guarantee you fame is not the end game.
Yeah, exactly. Fame is not the end game. And before we go, because I know you guys have to run soon, you have another single that's out, Good Girls Lie?
Yeah, so as you know, every 2 weeks we dropping singles. Now, Good Girls Lie was the one right before that one.
Oh, so this was right before this one, and this...
No, actually, I'm sorry. Good Girls Lie is the one that we dropped 3 weeks ago.
See?
The one that you're talking about was dropped 3 weeks before Good Girls Lie.
I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy, but it wasn't January, though.
It wasn't January. I was off.
It was late February.
Okay, I was off.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, mid-February, because this one dropped right before March, yeah.
Okay, so Good Girl Lie is the newer one.
It's the latest one.
This is the latest one.
It's the latest one.
Now, with your stadium project, there's 5 different...
genres.
Mm-hmm. The first one, Hypnotized, which genre was that on?
Hypnotized is actually... What you're hearing now is all the pop stuff.
Okay.
So you may give... Originally, I was going to drop an app that would drop 5 albums. A pop album, reggae album, world music album, dance album, and an R&B album.
You know what that reminds me of? You remember when Speaker Box and Love Below came out and blew everybody's mind that you had one group of artists on 2 separate albums? Mm-hmm. This is like that to the power of 10.
Yeah, because you literally get a full album of that genre.
Yeah. So
then when I did my deal with Atlantic said, listen, we just want the pop album, but you can still release the other 4 genres off the app. Mm-hmm. So Atlantic has their own way of how they're going to market the pop. So what they've been doing, they've been just dropping singles leading into the overall album. So all the songs that you've been hearing coming off the SoundCloud concept and routine has been all pop songs. Like this is all on the pop.
So this is all on the pop one.
Yeah. So now when you download the album when we release it, the app when we release it, then you'll get the full reggae album, the full world music album, the hip hop album, and also the dance music type, album.
Oh, and before we get into the single, you just said world music. Mm-hmm. You recorded a song in Hindi?
Yeah, called Chamak Chalo.
How
it was number 1 for like a year and a half, literally.
How did you even was like, you know what? I'm gonna speak Hindi on this album.
Yeah, no, the song is amazing too. It's like one of the biggest songs in India.
Is it really?
If you go to any Indian from any part of India and you say, do you know the song Chamak Chalo, they'll say that's her favorite song.
But how did it even come to you to be like, this is right. This is what I'm going to do now?
But I told you I listen to everything. Like I do I got a hit record in every country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even in China.
Yeah. As you should in China, because China is coming up more in the mixed genre music.
You know what I mean? But I'm speaking Chinese though. That's the difference.
Ni hao ma.
Well, no, but I was laughing because you changed your tone and your voice too.
You have to have the authentic Mandarin when you're speaking these languages.
Funny.
Yeah, you need me for a Mandarin track, I'm there. Don't worry, I got your back.
Absolutely.
But I think it's dope that you're doing so many multicultural things because we have this
fun, man.
Continuously globalized world, and I think a lot of people stay too much in their comfort zones, which is their own culture.
Yeah.
The fact TCK kind of trait, the fact that you're willing to explore different cultures to the point of speaking their languages.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, so you got to play Good Girls Lie. You have to play that for you.
Yeah, okay, so let's do that. We got Good Girls Lie. Any inspiration behind the song?
Yeah, Good Girls Lie.
Okay, fair enough.
It's exactly what that means.
It's exactly what that means. Well, in that case, I'm a bad girl.
The good ones lie too.
All right, so Good Girls Lie. This is the latest single on Akon Stadium pop album.
There we go.
And here we go. We're going to play it for you right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That was Good Girls Live by Akon, who is in the studio with your girl Sagan today. And before we wrap it up, I know you're going to be playing tonight at Kim's shop.
You know this.
Excited.
Oh,
what
man.
can we look
Be
forward
ready.
to tonight?
Just come ready to sweat. Come ready to jam out, man.
Can we expect any new songs off the Stadium album?
Yeah,
today?
I'll be playing a couple new songs off the album, records that they haven't heard, records that they've heard, records that I collaborated with. It's gonna be a mixture of everything.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. And then what time does the show start tonight?
I go on at midnight.
You go on at midnight. So midnight, make sure you're there, Kim Shaw, to see Mr. Akon, the jack of all trades.
Straight.
Yeah. Listen, this has been such a pleasure. I love all the initiatives that you're doing. I'm so happy that you're coming back to music because we all miss you. I know your hands are a little tied right now.
Oh, no, it's back to the music now.
Yeah,
everything
now
is
it's back
set on cruise control. Now I can do the music full time.
So now I know you're still promoting your Stadium album, but any kind of new musical projects in the work right now?
Of course, you know, we got the Convict Cartel movement moving, which is all urban. I'm bringing back the label. I got an artist named Young Greatness. We got a record called Moolah that's out there. It's doing amazing right now. Then we got Money Man, who's also a hip-hop artist that's doing amazing out there. I got
People
Camino.
look out for these names.
Yeah, look out for that. If you see Young Greatness, he's with us. Money Man, he's with us. This kid named Camino. I mean, this kid right here is like a white version of me.
Ah.
No, amazing. Like, amazing. I cannot wait to start pushing his records, but we're going to start releasing him towards the end of April. And this kid is a beast. Like, so there's a lot of little things that we got coming in the works that we working on. So just look out for things that we go.
Exciting stuff. And now I have to ask you the fundamental interview question for any artist. Any artist alive, dead or alive, who would you want to collaborate at this point in your life?
Honestly, I've collaborated pretty much with everybody that I wanted to collaborate with. But the one dead
Great
artist
answer.
that I seriously, like,
Yeah.
I really did. Because I only did it with people that I actually really like. The one artist that I always wanted to collaborate with, but I know it won't be possible, is Bob Marley.
Yeah. Well, dead or alive. So
I
in
know,
that
but-
hypothetical,
But me and
And you
Steven,
have
me and Steven did some great stuff,
I was gonna
which is
say, you
just
have his
as good
son
though,
on
because
the-
Steven sounds just like him.
Yeah.
So I was happy just to rock with Steven. You know what I mean?
and
He's
you do
like a
have
blessing.
Steven on the island.
Yeah, he's on the Island World Music. Well, the Island album Stadium.
on the Island
The reggae
Stadium
version,
album. Yeah, because I just heard that song recently and it's great.
Yeah, Just a Man is amazing.
There we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure speaking to the Akon this afternoon. I want to thank you so much for giving me your
thank you.
time. I really do appreciate it. I also want to make sure that you guys tune in on Monday because you got the regular lineup going on. Super Duper Morning Show with Super Kid and D from 7 to 10. And then 10 o'clock, you got the AM PM Workload Show with Mr. G Money. Then at 2 o'clock, you got the Power Hour with DJ Outcast. And your girl Sagan is back with the Playground from 3 to 6 o'clock. I want to wish y'all a happy weekend, a safe weekend. Enjoy the concert tonight and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye, kiddies.
Peace.